Hello and welcome to a video explaining the effects of enzyme concentration on a reaction and the effect of substrate concentration on a reaction. I'm going to go through these two different ones separately, although they are quite similar, but there are a few differences. So as you can see, the graphs are the same except for the axes. This one's enzyme concentration that we are changing, and this one's substrate concentration that we're changing. So if we look at enzyme concentration first, we can see that as the concentration of the enzyme increases, the rate of reaction increases, and that's because there is a higher chance and there's like more opportunities, more opportunities for successful collisions between the enzyme and the substrate. So we've got it's going to be more frequent enzyme substrate complexes being formed, and so that continues to increase until it gets to what we call Vmax, or the maximum point. So we can see that between this point here and here, this part, that limiting factor as to why the reaction isn't at its most optimum is because of the enzyme concentration. That's limiting at first, but as we can see, it's not limiting here when it's being increased. When we get to this point here, what starts to become our limiting factor is the concentration of substrates. Because all the substrate molecules are occupying an enzyme active site. So really we've just got lots of enzymes with their active sites available, but we've got no more substrates left. They've just got some free roaming enzymes, and they're not occupied. So that is why the graph plateaus. But we can see from this dotted line here that if we were to increase the concentration of substrate as well, if we were to have an infinite amount of the substrate and enzymes, then the rate of reaction would continue to increase. And then similarly, if we look at the substrate concentration on the rate of reaction, we have that the rate increases from this part here to here, because there is like we said before, there's more frequent successful collisions, so more frequent successful collisions. And then there's going to be more enzyme substrate complexes forming, more products forming, increased rate of reaction. We've got Vmax reached here. So again, we can say that between this point and this point, the substrate concentration is the limiting factor, but it isn't once you get to this point. At that point, it starts to become the enzymes, the enzyme concentration that is a limiting factor, because there is loads of substrates. So different now, there's loads of substrates. Oh, sorry, I've drawn that a bit wrong. There's loads of substrates, but there's no active sites for them to bind to. So the limiting factor at that point is the enzyme concentration, and that is why the graph plateaus there. And again, this dotted line just means that hypothetically, if we were to increase the enzyme concentration as well, then the rate of reaction would continue to increase. Thank you for watching.